13th Sabbath offering doesn't mark the beginning of mission giving in the Adventist Church. Adventists have been giving mission offerings for more than 25 years.
The General Conference brethren in the Sabbath School Department decided that there ought to be this project to send a vessel out to the Pacific Ocean to go to the islands. And so they got an appropriation which didn't cover the cost, but then they invited mostly the children of the church to help raise funds to build a ship that would go out to all the islands of the Pacific Ocean.
And in 1890, that ship sailed from San Francisco and a month later landed at Pitcairn, its first stop. Virtually everyone on the island above the age of majority was baptized.
The truth is that all of the Pacific Ocean was affected by the ship Pitcairn and the missionaries who went out. Nearly 100 missionaries in the different voyages that went on the Pitcairn. So it was a momentous project that grew from just an idea and one man having the burden that we must go, as Matthew 28:19 tells us to do. Go, go, go. Well, of course, the offering for the ship Pitcairn was the first Sabbath school project of the church. And years later, when the church decided that that had been a good thing, they then took up the idea of a periodic offering that would be very special and meet special needs in the church, and that became the 13th Sabbath offering of the Sabbath School Department.
But in 1912, the General Conference voted to start a special project called 13th Sabbath Offering, in which the church would focus on a special project every quarter.
When we have a special offering that we're all going to come together to give, we get closer to each other in doing that.
The first 13th Sabbath projects tended to feature general areas of the world, such as the work in Central Africa. But very quickly, the work began to focus on specific projects, such as the River Plate Secondary School, which eventually became their college, and on the Adventist Training School in Chile, which eventually became their university. Well, the Mission Quarterly actually started as a simple 8-page leaflet in which the mission offering was focused on, and a couple little stories were initiated, and most of it was encouraging people to give to mission offerings. This helped the church in the world know that they were not isolated, that we needed to grow. And the 13th Sabbath offering, because it focused on projects, helped us understand the need to give to help specific people in specific places around the world. Jesus reached people through stories, and today we reach people through stories. The mission stories are told in such a way that we can visualize the individual or the group involved, so that we can feel their pain and feel their joys, understand their challenges, and rejoice in their opportunities. The mission stories are to make us identify with others, to want to pray for them, and to want to give, to make their challenges into opportunities that will reach the world. Adventists had to learn to be mission-minded. It didn't come naturally, but once people began focusing on mission, the work around the world spread. And although the church began in North America, and in 1912 nearly all Adventists were in North America, today only 6% are in North America. 94% of all Adventists live outside North America. Most major Adventist institutions started very small, started with offerings such as the 13th Sabbath offering. Imagine a little clinic on the shores of the Amazon River that was instituted to treat the indigenous people. Today it is a fully functioning medical center in a major city that influences thousands of people every year for Christ. That's what our 13th Sabbath offering and our mission offerings do. In the last 100 years, roughly 500 institutions and plans have received money from the 13th Sabbath offering. Imagine the amount of work that can do. Each offering was a seed that is planted somewhere in the world, and each of those seeds has grown from a tiny medical clinic to a great hospital, from a tiny church to a great institution of evangelism. And each of those institutions are like trees that have grown from the seed, and those trees have branched out and planted more seeds. So the cycle continues to grow. Our offerings are seeds. Giving to 13th Sabbath offerings is even more important today than before. Imagine our church at 17 million members and many, many people who attend who are not members yet. Giving to a specific focus, a specific project every quarter. Imagine what we could do if we all gave sacrificially to a specific project. We can pray for that project, and we can understand the people who need this work, and we can make a huge difference in the world. 13th Sabbath offering projects are not just about brick and mortar. They're about facilitating the outreach to millions of people around the world who would never hear of the gospel. We may build a clinic in some far-off country. It's not the building, it's the doctors and nurses treating people in need. And that's what mission is about. World mission isn't just another pot into which we cast coins. It is God's commission telling us to go.
Sacrifice pour sauver chacun de nous.